So we've got to double back to this New York Giants football situation between defensive end Abdul Carter and quarterback Jackson Dart, because they had a media day and they were obviously both asked about the situation. And so it has sparked more conversation. And so we're here to have it. Let's jump into it.
Okay, on another note tonight, so maybe you saw this, New York Giants quarterback Jackson Dart was asked to introduce the President of the United States last week at an event in New York, and he said yes.
What an honor, what a privilege it is to be here. And without further ado, I'm grateful, I'm honored, I'm pleasured to introduce the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump. Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. That's all that happened. That's it. We didn't edit it. We didn't cut anything. 15 seconds, a 23-year-old kid, and he's got a story for the rest of his life about how he introduced the president one time. But the left can't stand it. The media can't stand it. But of course, this wouldn't be a problem if he was introducing Barack Obama or Joe Biden, right? But because it was Donald Trump, the media have turned this into like an O.J. Simpson-sized scandal.
This was an unforced error by Jackson Dart. Again, Donald Trump is historically unpopular. You are the quarterback of the New York Giants. What was the point? What is the upside in appearing at this rally?
I think when you know the history of this president and you know the biases of this president, for a certain community, the black community, for me, if this feels personal.
So one of his teammates, a rookie who has not played a single game, Abdul Carter, tweeted that he thought the video of Dart and the president was AI, and then he asked, "What are we doing here, man?" Ironically, Carter's idol growing up was a linebacker named Lawrence Taylor, a Hall of Famer. He even wanted to wear his number, but that number's retired. But I don't remember Dart tweeting about any of this.
I grew up a Democrat, and I've always been a Democrat. Until I met this man right here. I'll tell you what. He will not have to worry about nobody in my family.
All right, so Abdul Carter did not tweet about Lawrence Taylor introducing Donald Trump. That's Donald Trump and Lawrence Taylor. By the way, here I am with Lawrence Taylor just recently, a legend, both of them. One member of the New York media, though, actually did make sense. Boomer Esiason said that Jackson Dart did nothing wrong. Take a look.
This was a real error on the part of Abdul Carter, not on the part of Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart was asked to do something to introduce the President of the United States. How many people get an opportunity to do something like that, regardless of who the president is? To put this out like a child on social media is ridiculous. And then when I heard, yeah, we spoke man to man, yeah, there was only one man on that call, and that was Jackson Dart.
It's unbelievable. Jackson Dart introduced the President of the United States for less than 15 seconds at an event in New York, and he's gotten more attention this week from the media than a Green Bay Packers running back named Josh Jacobs, who was arrested yesterday on felony suffocation charges. He tried to suffocate someone, allegedly, and he's gotten more attention, the Packers quarterback. Think about that.
Yeah, true. Jackson Dart has also gotten more attention than Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, who allegedly violated his probation, I believe it was, and now he's sitting in jail for a month. Like, people are literally going to jail and haven't gotten as much coverage as Jackson Dart simply introducing the president. It's crazy. Crazy. But hey, here's Abdul Carter and what he had to say.
So first off, I want to say that some things are bigger than football, and this is one of those things. Jackson is one of our leaders. He's the face of our franchise. He not only represents himself and what he does, but he represents all of us. And that goes for anybody who wears a Giants uniform. But if he chooses to align himself with a man like President Trump, it's my responsibility, based on what I believe and what I stand on, to not only show my teammates that I'm against that, but to show the world. And that doesn't mean that we have to spread hate. It doesn't mean that me and Jackson hate each other or we have beef. I sit next to Jackson every day. Every team meeting, we close, we talk. And we just, as long as we make sure we got the same goal as a team and our goals align, which they do, and I feel like that's all that matters. So I just want to move past this and yeah, that's.
Yeah, he probably won't have a long NFL career. It's my job to stand up and let people know that I'm against this. No, it's your job to go out there and play football. That's literally your job. To go out there and play football. That's what you're paid to do. Not make statements, none of that. No, play football. And he's going to learn the hard way, you know? Especially if his play isn't boosted significantly in this next season. See, now you're becoming a locker room cancer and you're not performing on the field. How long do you think they're going to keep you around? Maybe another extra season just to see if you bounce back, right? I don't expect him to be cut this year, even if he has a horrendous season. He's a first-round draft pick. They'll give him an extra year, maybe two because of the round in which he was drafted in. But beyond that, you're cooked. You're cooked. Locker room cancer. Would rather talk about all this extra stuff rather than playing football. And we don't pay you to talk. We pay you to play football. Simple. Also, as was mentioned in that video, he's a fan of LT. Wanted to take his number, but LT is a Trump fan. Trump fan. So, if you don't know who LT, Lawrence Taylor. So, how does that work? But then also, anybody who's ever played sports knows what he did is not something that you do.
And if you asked any professional athlete, any coach, anybody in sports, hey, do you condone calling out one of your teammates on social media? They would say, absolutely not. You don't do that. But now, because it's Trump, you have people in the same space saying, well, yeah, he has a right to, he should call out as a teammate. No, you never do that. So it's only because this happened with Trump. They've melted down over it. You peep, of course, the cackle heads on The View are all.
Yeah. Anybody who's ever played sports knows you keep it in the locker room. Once you get out there on the field or wherever, your teammates. And that's one of the great things about sports. It brings a lot of individuals from different backgrounds, from different races, from different religions, everything all together for one common goal. And you all got to work together.
These out.
Figure it out.
A new sales tax
especially
on Uber Eats, Amazon, and deliveries. A new sales tax on
what is going on? Sorry about that. Don't know why that clip started playing. But anyway, just completely lost my train of thought. For one common goal, you all got to come together, especially in football, right? Because it takes more than one person to win a football game. There's 11 people out there on each side of the ball on the field at one time, and especially on defense, it's even more important that you all got to be on the string. You all got to be in unison, work together as one. You can't have this guy playing hero ball because he's angry and he wants to prove X, Y, and Z because now he's out of his gap. So there's a wide open hole that's just left, right? Oh, man. Anyway, we'll see how long that NFL career lasts, but I was going to play I'll play part of it. It's kind of long, so I'm not going to bore you guys with it. Jackson Dart and what he had. You know what? I'll just play the whole thing. Fuck.
No, obviously this was a unique opportunity. Being asked and given the opportunity to introduce the President of the United States. My thinking was pretty simple. In the fact of, I've always loved this country. I have extended family members who have fought in wars. I have two uncles who have retired from the Air Force Academy and served themselves. And I even have a great-grandfather who served as Secretary of Treasury at some point. So the president position has always been a position that I've well respected, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of political party, and my intentions were just that. I also understand in this world, politics can be a sensitive matter, a sensitive topic. I also understand that I am the quarterback of the New York Giants, and that involves a lot of responsibility. It's under a limelight, under a microscope, and there's a lot that comes with that, and it's been something that I've embraced. I've loved being here. I've loved the city of New York. I love the city of New Jersey, the people that I've met here. It's just been a really amazing experience, and there's not another place that I'd rather be. Most importantly, the people in this organization, my teammates, the staff, the coaches, everybody that has a hand, Jose, you name it. I've loved making relationships with them and growing connections, and that's the kind of person that I am. I'm a connector. I love making relationships with people. I love hearing everybody's stories and being somebody who people can rely on to be there for them. And most importantly, I can honestly say that I love every single one of my brothers, my teammates on this team, regardless of politics, regardless of religious beliefs, regardless of anything that may be different between us. Like, I love them, and they know exactly what kind of person that I am, who comes into the facility every day, and who lays, I lay my body on the line for my guys each and every week. And it's from the connections that we build, the love that we have for each other. I've been somebody who's always respected, the different perspectives that people may have, the backgrounds that they come from. I understand that, we have such a cool opportunity as people, to be in a locker room where it's a melting pot of people from everywhere, and we get to be together. I think that the connections that we build are special because, we're able to have vulnerable conversations. We're able to learn from each other, to support each other, irrespective of the color of our skin. And, we have a real brotherhood. We've had a lot of honest conversations with each other as a team, and I like to keep those things private between me and my teammates, and just everything that's been said. But I love these guys, and going forward, I can't wait for what more we have to grow. The culture of this team, our brotherhood, and obviously we understand the biggest goal is to be the best team that we can be, to put ourselves in the best position to succeed, to chase a championship, to be the best players for Coach Harbs and all the coaches here. And that's our focus going forward each and every day, and can't wait to continue to do that. Appreciate you guys.
So yeah, that was his full statement there that you heard. I wasn't going to play it originally because it was a little longer, but there you have it. There you have it. Jackson Dart, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, maybe this upcoming fantasy football season, I may be trying to get him as my quarterback. Who knows? We shall see. We shall see. But y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. All of this stuff, man, is absolutely silly. And at the end of the day, we can't allow them, meaning the left and Democrats, to make it sound and seem as if we're not the majority. Okay? We can't, because that's the whole purpose of this. That is the entire purpose. People have supported presidents in the past, and nobody said anything about it. Jalen Hurts, right? Golfing with Obama, nobody cared. It's only an issue when you are seen with a Republican that's become like this massive thing. So we can't allow them to make us afraid of being outwardly supportive of Uncle Trump or any Republican for that matter. We got to stand on it. Stand on it. One, because that's the way it's always been, right? There's been Democrats, there's always been Republicans. That's just the way this country has always gone. But now I feel like this is being done intentionally to try to silence us, and we can't allow them to do that. All right? Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.